Hey guys, this is Christian, and this is my first commentary for one of these reviews. Now, I should probably actually come out and tell you that I did not actually plan on doing commentaries for these reviews until much, much later, until I had at least about maybe 15 to 20 reviews up. By then, I figured I would have a decent amount of people who gave a shit about what I had to say. So, yeah, I didn't plan on doing these for a while. But this video, oh god, this video. This video was going to be the death of me. Dear God, this thing was plagued with problems almost from the get-go. About midway through making this thing, everything just went to hell. And but I'll get into that a little bit later. Right now, I'll tell you some of the reasons why I felt compelled to make a commentary for an episode this early on in the show's life. One is that obviously this episode is a lot longer than the previous two, and that's because I've started my new format of, instead of reviewing just the first episode, I will now review the first 4 episodes. And that's the format I actually wanted to start with from the beginning, because that's usually the amount of time most people give an anime to capture their attention. After that, they pretty much say, all right, this show is not worth my time, so I'm just going to move on. And so what's one of the primary reasons for a review is to let people know whether or not what you're reviewing is worth their time. And so I decided that I wanted to start with the 4-episode format in the beginning, but back when I was first making like the Full Metal Alchemist review, I didn't have a way of getting quality footage of the shows. Of course, now I do, as you can see. I have a DVD ripper now, so I just use that, and obviously it gives me probably the best amount of quality that I can ever get without actually getting a DVD ripper, which I hope to invest in soon, as well as a way to get Blu-ray footage onto my computer as well, because I have a few anime movies and shows on Blu-ray that I would like to review as well. So hopefully I'll be able to get those things sometime in the future. So that was one of the smaller reasons that I felt compelled to do a commentary for this episode. The other reason, and the biggest reason, is that this episode was absolute hell to make. Oh my god. I mean, okay, where do I start? First of all, the editing software that I used for my last 2 reviews, I noticed it was starting to show a little bit of wear and tear, I guess, in its performance of recording the Sekirei review. And I don't know, I just thought like maybe it was some weird thing that was going on with that particular project, so I was like, okay, whatever. Then I got into making this review, and about halfway through it, I think about when I had 15 minutes of the actual episode finished, it just started to really slow down. It was getting really sluggish. It would take like 30 seconds for the program to like make a simple like 5-second cut in the video footage, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? This is bullshit. It's taking so long. And sometimes the program would just like stop working. It wouldn't show me the preview footage, so I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if things were syncing up. I didn't know what was going on with my project, so I would have to close the entire program down and then reopen it and then start again for about 5 minutes before it just decided to stop working again. And it was just torture working through all of this. But I was like, I gotta get this out. I gotta do this. I gotta move this out and get it out to the people. This is going to be this is my favorite review that I've done of the 3. Mostly because it's the most ambitious one I've done yet, but since all the reviews are going to be like this now, it's going to not be so special soon enough. But I don't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, so the project was just racked with problems, but I persevered through them, and I finally made it to the end. I finally finished it up, and I was like, yes, it's done. It's over. I can produce it, export it, and put it up. So when I went to render and produce the project, I figured it was going to take a long time because the last two took a while to render, and that was back when I didn't know as much about rendering and producing videos as I do now. But when I rendered it, I figured it was going to take probably about an hour for it to compress. So I sat back and I decided to watch some TV, and I have my computer right next to me in my room, so I just sat down and started watching TV. And then when I looked over about like maybe 20, 30 minutes later, I saw that it was done compressing, and I was like, well, that can't be right. What's up with that? So then I went to look at the finished compressed video, and it turns out that it didn't compress the entire video. It only did about maybe the first 10 minutes or so. And I was like, what is up with that? You know what? Not even the first 10 minutes, because this footage you're seeing right here, it would usually not get this far. It got maybe about to where it got to about the midpoint of the part of the video where I'm reviewing the first episode 00, and even if it did compress more of the video, I think the most I ever got it to compress was about the first 10 or 15 minutes. The video would just be broken. The audio most of the time would be fine, but the video would just like black out at certain points, or it would just black out entirely from one point on to the end. And I was like, God damn, what is wrong with this? I tried every single file type that I could to compress the video down into. I tried Flash, which is MP4 and whatnot. That didn't work. I tried QuickTime. That didn't work. I tried Windows video player. That didn't work. I was like, I eventually went through them all, and none of them worked. And I was like, no, why? It's done. It's finished. I just want it to be over with. So I was doing all sorts of research trying to figure out what I could do, and I just couldn't find anything. So then on my Twitter, I just like tweeted, "Fucking Camtasia sucks," which is the program that I was using to make these videos, which I now know is not a very good program to use for heavy-duty editing. Camtasia is used more for like screen capturing and doing this sort of thing, this voice narration that I'm doing. So I tweeted like, "Fucking Camtasia sucks," and then like a few minutes later, the Camtasia Twitter people were like, "Oh no, what's wrong? What's the problem?" And so I started doing this thing where I'm sending emails back and forth with the Camtasia people. I'm like, this is happening and this is happening. Why is it happening? And they would tell me like, okay, do this. And then I would try and do that and it wouldn't work. So then I would have to do this and this and this. And the thing was that it would always take them about like 24 hours to get back to me with a reply. So I would like send them an email like at like 9 or 10 in the morning. And I wouldn't get one until like maybe 6 or 7 in the morning the next day. So I always had to wait like a day to get a response from them. So that slowed down my progress even more. And they said things like, send us the video, send us the project in a zip file so we can check it out. And this project was about 3 gigabytes in size. So it took literally like 15 hours for this thing to compress into a zip file. And at one point my internet like crapped out for like 2 minutes or something. And so then the entire process of compressing it down to a zip file it just stopped. There was still like about 5 hours left of video compression, and it stopped just because my internet crapped out for 2 minutes, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Rah! So then I had to recompress the zip file again for another 15 hours, and then I finally finished that, and I sent it off to them, and they were like, okay, some of your AVI files seem to be corrupted or broken or what the fuck ever. So they were like, all right, use this tool that we're going to link to this email and drag and drop all the AVI files down into the tool, and it should fix them. And so I tried to do that, and I tried to drag and drop the files from the zip project, because then I could just import the project back into Camtasia, and it would have the project all still intact. It would have all the edits still there. It would have everything the way it was in the project. The problem was the files wouldn't go from the zip file into the tool. But it would work if I dragged and dropped the files from, like, say the project file, which is just where I have all my raw footage from, and drag them into the tool, then it would work. But it wouldn't do it from the zip file, so then that means I would have to re-edit the entire project again. And I was like, really? Is this what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to re-edit the entire project? And eventually, that's what happened. I just went in, I was like, fuck this, I'm just going to spend about a week re-editing this project. I have all the components that I need to remake it, so I might as well just do that. It's better than to spend a week re-editing a project that I shouldn't have to re-edit and get it out next week, instead of sitting around waiting for these fuckers to help me get my act together and not have anything still next week. So that's what I did. I've got Adobe Premiere, and I did the free trial, which that's going to wear out eventually, so I may not be able to get one of these out again, because I'm not going to use Camtasia again to edit these projects. But yeah, I used Adobe to re-edit the entire project from scratch, and I think I'm going to stop here, because I'm going to have to continue this in part 2. God damn it, YouTube. But yeah, so I'll see you again in part 2.